that didn't read the book, what is like your definition of this girl logic?
Women are expected to be so many things to so many people. In one fell swoop, you're supposed to be sexy but demure, whatever the fuck that means. A ball buster, but also not too loud. Showy but confident, but not too confident because you make people upset. And it's so easy to be like, whatever, just be yourself. But when you're a woman, other people's perceptions of you can have detrimental effects on your safety, on your career, on how you're perceived. And so girl logic is that inner voice that helps us sort of navigate all of the external stimuli coming in, telling us good and bad information. Yeah. And we're always called crazy. I wrote the book because women are always called crazy, and I got so tired of hearing that. Just because when you ask me what I want for dinner, I can't be like pizza. It doesn't make me crazy. I'm having to factor in, did I eat pizza yesterday? Am I wearing a bathing suit later? Am I wearing a tight dress now? Do I already feel bloated? Do I feel gross? The answer is yes. We always feel gross. And it's trying to like navigate our way through that because we are expected to look a certain way and feel a certain way and act a certain way. And then we have to, and also reconciling with how we want to feel. So it's this endless, how we perceived, how do we want to be perceived, what's actually happening. This sort of way of thinking helps us suss out what we actually want. Like the issue is that we have to go through all these iterations. Like, do I want to wear this? If I wear this, my feet gonna hurt. If my feet hurt, I'm not gonna be able to walk. Is he gonna think I'm annoying? I'm gonna be tired. I'm gonna be tired tomorrow. Do I want to work out tomorrow? And so you're factoring in past, present, and future. In a microsecond, we're able to process all this. But when you verbalize it, it's like, oh my God, what a psycho. But we're not. Like, this is what we have to do to compete.
Are you excited to kind of start to relate to like a new group of women who are engaged and married, or have your fans also evolved with you?
I'll be 100% honest with you. When I got engaged, part of my heart broke because I felt like I was abandoning women. It's like my career is this like building of a love letter to women and understanding our plight and the way that we are. And when I got engaged, so much of my act had been about male-female relations and not so much being single as much as what you think as a woman. And so when I got engaged, I was like, oh no, if I talk about being single, am I like the girl that's like, hey girls, remember me? I still want to party. And you're like, go away. But everyone's got their chapters in life and you have to embrace it. So I'm very much interested to see like what the next 5 years bring, and hopefully I can write something else about it. I firmly believe, and I'm saying this when I'm young, so who knows how I'll feel at 50, but embracing each year of your life for what it is. That sounds like such like a young girl thing to say, like, let's just love this time and place. It's like, you're 23. But I look at like younger girls and my heart gets so full because like I know exactly what it's like to be there. And I try to talk from like a non-preachy, but more of a like, your fun aunt that's been there. Not your mom.
At what point did you know your fiance was the one?
I feel like part of it is being Jewish. Like you meet someone, you're like, this works. Like it just, because you go through all these iterations, and I think a big part of dating is you see who you want to be in different guys. Like you meet a guy that you know is wrong for you. Like not the same values, not the same culture. You're like, maybe I could be the girl that rides on a motorcycle. It's like, no, you're not that girl. Or maybe I'm the girl who like always rides in the bed of his pickup truck. It's like, probably not. You're probably not that girl. But you get to experience like different parts of yourself, and when you like someone, it's amazing what you'll put on hold or put up with, you know. Yeah, maybe we should drink every night. Don't do that. I met him and there was no reach. There was no, oh, maybe I could be vegan for him. Like there was, it was just easy. And this is like a really personal thing, but I thought it was sweet. We went on our first, we always joke, this is such like a couple thing. Like we went on one first date and we're still on it. But we went on this date and it was just easy. Like we were just talking all night. I do this thing where I won't sleep with someone on a first date, but I will invite them in, and he agreed. And we felt this, I can't believe I admit this, but we fell asleep in my bed. Like we walked, it was like 4 a.m. and we were shit canned. And we're outside and we're really loud with the dog. And we fell asleep like holding each other. And right before I fell, I'm not crying, I have to itch my eye. It was a year ago. And right before we fell asleep, he went, where have you been?
Oh my God.
And I was like, I've been dating the weirdest guys. Good night. And that was it. And then the next morning, he was like, do you want to hang out tonight? Which could be clingy, but like he took that chance to be like, and I was like, totally.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it was just easy. And so I was like, this should be him.
That's like, sounds perfect. Why do you think society treats single women like a disease, or like, why is it?
You know, I do think that there is this sort of race. You have, and I've said this in my specials, a biological clock. Maybe you want kids, maybe you don't. However, you have a finite amount of time to have children. You have this socially predetermined shelf life. And for women, it goes a lot quicker than it does men. Everyone knows when men get older, they're austere and handsome, when women are just like garden witches. And so there's that pressure. And I think there's this, on the whole, not individual, this desperation. Like you meet a guy and it's like, well, you're single because you're weird. And it's like, you were single a week ago. Like, you're not that far out of the asylum yet. And so I think we kind of look down on women. We're very quick to forget that we were single not that long ago. And then there's, of course, you aren't dating anyone, what's wrong with you? There's never a version of like, no one's good enough for her or she's exceptional. It's always, what's wrong with you? And it's just this mentality. And when I got engaged, I was like, I don't want to ever, I want to be mindful of that.
Yeah.
In the way I look at my single friends, or I watched my mom who was single and I watched the way women treated her. And it was just kind of like always a mental note, like I would never ostracize a woman for whatever reason that she has chosen or ends up being single.
Yeah.
It's just something I know. I'm just a very sensitive person.
Who along the way gave you the best advice for like surviving in comedy?
I have a very different sort of path into stand-up than a lot of people. I won a show called Last Comic Standing, and when you win something like that, you don't become like a celebrity overnight, but you get the chance to be a headliner. So which means I never had to go on the road with a man. I never had to hope that somebody would give me a break. So I missed those years in the trenches of gritting it out with people. And I always say it's like I skipped college and went from high school to the real world. So I didn't have a lot of that time that a lot of other comics had. And so I didn't know any other women. And I certainly didn't know any ones that I knew were like famous, so they didn't know me. So I kind of just had to piece together whoever would be cool to me or whoever was around me at the Comedy Store when I would go home and just sort of piece together what I thought a career should look like.
Are you content, or are you still like reaching for something? Like, what are some?
Oh, that's a big question.
We're going deep on a Friday night.
Yeah, what is life? I think part of being an artist is that you're never quite content. And I think part of being someone who is driven is that you're always driven. Like, and I don't know if anybody else feels this way, but very seldom do things feel good for me. Like the book came out and I was immediately, like I didn't get the New York Times bestseller list. And I was just like, why bother? Why bother doing anything? And that's so stupid because we sold so many and so many women liked it. And you sound like such a spoiled brat when you are angry that you didn't get the two things you wanted out of something. The honest truth is I find almost every aspect of this career excruciating, minus the actual creation of the art.
Yeah.
The second I walk on stage, the second I walk off is my favorite. And I've found such love and comfort in the fans that I've been given, because I don't think anybody has better fans than I do. And I've gotten this like young group of women. First of all, you guys were 5 when I started. But it's evolved to that because it was mostly men that consumed stand-up for a very long time. You bring your girlfriend to a club, all through the 80s and 90s. And then women started consuming stand-up sort of on their own. I like to think that I was part of ushering that in with Netflix, like bringing women in when we're like, what's this girl? The feedback I got from fans and the welcome reception sort of informed what it was that I wanted to say. I almost felt like I had to speak up on behalf. And that's where my heart lies, and it's still very much where it lives. So the question is, like, what's after this special, like the next special, which I've already started thinking about, like, what more are you saying? Because you don't want to be repetitive. Sure. And you don't want to be the girl that's like, another thing about feminism. Like, you want to have layers to it. So it's constantly questioning, like, where do I fit in? What am I saying? And is it fun to do this?
If you could have a drink with anyone, if they're dead or alive, who would it be? What would you be drinking?
I'm supposed to give an answer like Jesus, but like, now my girl logic's kicking in. I'm like, you want to say something intelligent like Ernest Hemingway, but also Marilyn Monroe. Be like, what were you thinking? This is not gonna like feed my soul, or I don't think we would have a fun conversation, but I would share a Gatorade because she looks like she's had a lot of it, like from playing sports, with Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Okay. And I'd be like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what? Are you for real? I would get her drunk. We put like vodka in the Gatorade or something, just to like get it out of her. She'd be like, truth is, sometimes I don't even read off the prompter because it's such, sometimes I just talk and the GOP's like, it's gold and like, it's fine. I'd want to know.
No one said that, so cheers.
Cheers to
Thanks.
me.
Cheers to you. Seriously. Bye.